So I don't know if this is just me, but when I played Osu sometimes, I would be trying to play the game and then I would just have these weird second thoughts, this wave of schizophrenia where I'm just like, dude, you're gonna miss here, you're gonna miss here, and then I actually end up missing there. And I thought it was just me for the longest time until I came across this Reddit post where there was this guy saying, how do I stop the voices? Serious help. And he basically says, whenever I'm playing, I hear a voice in my head that tells me to repeatedly miss or slider break, and a few seconds later, it gets so annoying that I get distracted and I actually do miss. Does anyone else have this problem and how do I fix it? So I actually used to have this problem as well. I don't really have it anymore. So I do sympathize with the person in this post here, and what it helped for me personally, and if you guys also have this issue where you're gonna have these voices of schizophrenia and you're going to be thinking of some malicious thoughts while you're playing, the best way for me to overcome these is to one, not be stressed and anxious, because I feel like the greatest catalyst for these bouts of anxiety and overall vocal pain within the mind where you're having these waves of schizophrenia is to not be stressed, because I feel like I have these moments the most when I'm very stressed in that particular situation. So I feel like for this person, that would just be my advice here. But it seems like a lot of people, they're just giving their comments about this whole situation where they're like, have you tried taking your medication? And a decent method I heard to prevent these intrusive thoughts is to count the numbers on their hit circles. And that second method there is essentially a method of distraction where you're going to be thinking, okay, well, I'm going to focus on this part instead of thinking about my schizophrenic thoughts, saying, okay, I gotta stop the voices in my head. No, you just think about the circles on the screen and it actually helps you. So perhaps that could work, the distraction method. Or you're just gonna think about some random thing. Maybe you just think about that weird story that you had in elementary school where perhaps you took a shit in the public bathroom when you left your French horn on the locker outside. Totally not a related story to me, but that's basically what's happened for this guy here, where you could use that distraction method as well. But this guy's also saying if you can use your medication. I don't really know, because personally I never really had this medication sort of deal. Like, I don't really believe in medication that much, because I feel like medication, when you're just going to be giving a medicine like the cold medicine or perhaps SSRI, like, I'm not a doctor or an expert on these drugs, but I feel like from my own perspective with how medication works in the American medical system, for example, is that they're just giving you the bandage to your problems. They're not really trying to break the root cause of the issues. Like, for example, obesity is a symptom of a lower root cause, which is metabolic syndrome, right? Your body is not going to be able to process the calories right and extract the nutrients properly, and your body is going to convert a lot of your calories into fat and make you fat as fuck. So obesity there is a symptom of the metabolic syndrome. But the doctors in America are going to give you medication where they're like, no. I'm not going to give you these like plans for you to remove that metabolic syndrome. You can still eat your Burger King and your McDonald's, but what I'm going to give you is that you can have this pill that's going to reduce your appetite, and then over time you're going to lose your weight and you'll be all good. And you're like, okay, well, my symptoms are going to go away, then I'm going to stop being fat as fuck if I take this pill. And maybe it does actually do that, but on the root cause, the metabolic syndrome is still there, because you're not actually fixing it with your health. You're still eating the same shitty diet, but you're going to be having this bandage onto your problems here, and once you come off that pill, you're going to gain that weight immediately backwards. So I don't agree with this medication take here where this guy should take medication for his problems. I don't really know. I'm not really an expert in this field though, but that's just my bias towards this topic here, where people take medication for taking their problems away. Like, if you have a problem, you got to solve the root cause. So this person here, where he's having these voices, like, again, I used to have this problem as well. It was because I was really stressed at that time, like having really bad anxiety, because I had a lot of unresolved problems in my life. So I realized, okay, well, my problems in my life, let's get to work on them and try to deal with them. And as I worked on them, that gave me a peace of mind and removed my stress and anxiety while I was working on those problems, which at the time, I think my main issues there was I had some awkward social situations with some people. And of course, I'm not the best social person in the world, so I was really trying to work on that, but I really fucked up here and there. And while I'm FCing math or something, I would have like a really bad thought of like an awkward social interaction I had, or a very awkward thought of something stressful that happened in my life, and I would get these voices, okay, well, I'm gonna miss here, I'm gonna miss. Like, I completely relate to this guy here. It's because I had these underlying issues back then in my history, and I would try to fix that myself just by, I know it sounds schizophrenic, but I would go on walks and talk to myself and try to rationalize the past and try to move away from it. So that was just like my own self therapy there, my self medication. So I feel like for this guy, like medication, I mean, of course, if you just want to take the easy way out and be forever changed to a pill to take away your symptoms, I guess you can do that, but that's going to come at a cost of, one, your money, and two, your dignity. So I don't really know. It's really up to you at the end of the day. I would personally take the harder route of, okay, maybe I have some underlying issues, but I don't really know. I'm not a freaking doctor, right? I don't know what the frick people are going to get their main issues for. I don't really know what this guy's situation here, but I'm just trying to give my own take on the situation, because I used to have this problem as well with the voices, and you guys are probably thinking, okay, that's fucking crazy, Capnori has the freaking voices or something. I don't know, that I just wanted to talk about that. But besides that topic right there, I also want to just talk about this unrelated thing. So today I went to an Osu LAN party sort of deal, and I just basically went there to meet some friends, and we're just chilling, having some talking, and I met some new people here and there. And I did meet this one Osu player named gleague. Like, we've been friends for a bit now, and I haven't met him IRL, but I never really noticed his tapping style, for example. So we went to this place called the Cave, which is basically this gamer zone, this utmost cave. Like, it actually is the freaking cave. I'm sorry if you guys are eating while watching this, so click off if you're gonna be disgusted by something nasty. But I went into the bathroom and I was about to take a piss, and the urinal, like, I looked inside it, and you would usually see some clear something, right? Like, just clear water, but it was a puddle of piss pooled in the urinal, and I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, okay, well, this is only urinal, so I'm gonna get my thing done. And I took my piss, and then I tried to flush it, but then the flusher don't work. It don't flush the piss down the toilet drain. So I was like, well, I guess there really is the cave here, because this is just the fucking mustiest, crustiest place in the world. So I was like, okay, that sucks. And I just hopped out, and I just went to play a bit of a tournament there with some friends, and it went okay. I'm not really the tournament player of all time. I did lose the tournament, but I was basically looking at gleague's tapping style here. He's basically a 5-digit Osu player that is a tournament player, and he's a freaking super D ranker. And I could go on a freaking rant about D rankers, but not in this video. But gleague here, he had the weirdest tapping technique where he's literally tapping with like 3 fingers at a time. Like, I don't know, like, you're gonna be tapping if your index finger and then your middle finger and your ring finger tapping like that. Like, I don't know, it was so freaking weird. I was like, how the heck is this even good? But like, he's really good at tapping too, like 220 BPM. Like, he can really play very well on a HyperX keyboard. He doesn't have a routine, so he's fully bottoming out. And I was like, holy shit, how do you play? Like, he's getting 99% acting like 270 BPM death streams, and I'm like, you're tapping with this really weird stream technique. So maybe that's the secret to become the GOAT at stamina. But I don't know, there's other players that have weird tapping techniques, like Malashevsky. I think, I haven't done my research, but I think this is true, where he taps like 4 fingers in a row or something. So gleague, he's not exactly the most unique player in that aspect. And there's also Form here where he double taps sliders, but I know some other people do that as well. So maybe it gives you a bit of a psychological buff, where if you tap with more fingers than the corrected input at that time, then it helps you play more. I don't really know, but I just feel like this whole thing is just a preference thing at the end of the day. So maybe it doesn't really help that much, but I just want to talk about that one scenario that I experienced first. But just don't tap crazy like that, and just don't break your fingers like Sito and get RSI, and don't push the past the point of utmost pain and failure. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, and hopefully this video helps someone with the voices. So I'll see you.